Joining me right now on the air is somebody you hear basically every day, probably more than you hear me on this station, is Royal the Serpent. Overwhelmed is like the song in the moment, but thanks for joining us, Royal.
Thank you so much for having me, Kevin.
How far back does Overwhelm go? I almost think of it as like, like the pop song that's hot right now, F 2020. It's just it's a song that sort of captures the cultural sentiment of right now. So many people are feeling overwhelmed, pun intended. Mm-hmm. Was it a song you wrote before this crazy year we've been going through and it just somehow fit or was inspired by?
Yeah, it somehow made it out at the perfect time because I wrote it over 2 years ago now.
Wow.
And it just happened to come out at a time that it could really resonate with people, I think.
Isn't that such a trip as an artist, right? Like you want to get it right. You want to write the right song at the right time. And as hard as you work and as great as the music is, like it's so up to chance and it's so up to just the universe, right?
It is. It really is. I think it's a matter too of like your intention with it and how you feel putting it out. And what the intention is. And all I wanted really to do with Overwhelmed was to give it to people to hopefully make them feel better.
That's interesting. That's a really good point about intention. What do you mean in the sense that if you have good intentions, if you have pure intentions that, maybe a song will sort of find its rightful home?
That's what I like to believe.
Right.
Yeah,
if you try too hard, if you're making a song for the wrong reasons, it's probably, if you try to write a hit, it's probably going to go nowhere.
Exactly. Yeah. I think it has to come from a good place.
Right. Yeah. So 2 years ago, you write Overwhelmed. What inspires Overwhelmed? What are the things you're going through at the time that are making you feel that way 2 years ago?
I think just suffering with kind of mental health and sensory overload was a really big thing for me. So being out all the time, being at shows all the time, a lot of lights, a lot of loud, a lot of stimuli everywhere was becoming incredibly overwhelming for me. And I think I just arrived in the session that day and my guys just really helped get it all out of me. And it was really cathartic writing it.
That's awesome. Was it born out of one of those like chit chats before the session where, you don't know what you're going to write about, but then they're like, dude, that's what you're writing about today.
Yeah. It always kind of like finds its way. I'll come in with one idea, like, I think we should write about this. And it always like somehow gets totally off track and ends up being way cooler than whatever I thought we were going to write about.
Totally. I'm from New Jersey. I've heard rumblings you're from New Jersey. Is that true?
I am. Yes. Where are you from?
I'm from Bergen County. I'm from a really small town called Hohokus.
Oh my goodness. I'm from Somerset, Franklin Township.
Okay, yeah. Right on. That's cool. Mm-hmm. That's kind of like central Jersey, right?
Yeah. Where are you?
I'm up north in like Bergen County, at least where I grew up.
Okay, cool. Yeah. And you're in New York now?
Yes.
Nice.
Right on. All right, cool. So let's talk about some of the influences that you have and just the music that you're fans of. We play you so much on the station. We play a lot of great artists. I know Nirvana is an artist, a band, I really should say, that means a whole heck of a lot to you. Why? I mean, Nirvana, I think, is just such a foundational band for so many artists in so many ways. But what do they mean to you?
I just think Kurt has been such an inspiration to me, especially lately, the kind of direction I'm heading with the music that I'm making. He's so pure and so humble, and what comes out of him is just so authentically him. And I think that's really what I'm trying to cultivate is who is authentically Royal and what kind of music does she want to make? And I think he does that so well.
Yeah. It's tough. It's tough at times as an artist, right? Or as anybody, right? In the public eye, you think of Kurt and you think of authenticity and how he would have navigated the social media world where there's so many pressures to gain attention and to gain followers and to gain traction on the internet. At times, feeling, oh, should I sacrifice authenticity, right? Should I be what people are liking on Instagram or what have you, or on TikTok and chasing trends, what have you? You think about Kurt, like, he never had to face that.
No. What would he have done?
I know, right?
Yeah. I think there's a fine balance too. I think it's giving people what they want because we're still, that's my job as an artist is to give people something that they can enjoy. But still being true to myself. Yeah, it's a balance for sure.
Totally. You have a favorite Nirvana song? What comes to mind? You just like?
I love his performance. There's like an MTV Unplugged where he does a cover. In the pond, in the mine where the sun don't shine. It's not his song, but I love that performance. And then, probably Come As You Are.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Cool. Right on. Dominic Fike is another artist I know that you enjoy.
So much.
It's crazy. He came by the radio station in New York City like 3 nights, maybe wasn't even out yet, and he's such an interesting guy. And it's a fantastic new album he dropped this year. But anyways, what do you enjoy about Dominic's music?
He does a little bit of everything, which is what I love about him. Like, I almost don't put him in any genre specific because so many of his songs take you on such a journey. There's a little bit of everything in them. And I just love the way that he structures his songs because you go somewhere totally different halfway through the song half the time. And wow, when his album dropped, it was the only thing I listened to probably for like a month straight.
This summer?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good.
It's so good.
I love the irreverence of Dominic Fike's music. You know, it's like in an age where I feel like everyone's trying to be liked. I was just like, even that song "Cancel Me." You know, it's probably a controversial song, but it's just like the sentiment, right? Is like I love that. Cool. All right, right on. Kenny Hoopla is also another fantastic artist, and we did a live with him. I think he was like in a cabin in like Wisconsin. Where he's
in Wisconsin.
Yeah. But he's just another authentic. I'll go back to that word that you used. Just a real dude and a real great guy.
Pure artist. Yeah.
Right. What do you like about Kenny?
Wow, his music, you can see the soul come out of him when he performs. It's incredible. He's also like kind of a friend, I guess, an internet friend. I don't know.
Yeah.
In the same crew of people. And it's just so cool to see people that you know doing their thing and succeeding at it. And his voice, I mean, yeah, he's incredible.
Did you ever cross paths with Marvier, who did that record, produced that record? I don't know.
No.
He did what is it, the Highway song that Kenny.
Yeah, How Will I Rest in Peace If I'm Buried by a Highway.
That's good.
So good.
It's like the longest title. It's like, you know, fall.
I know. I love it.
Rad. Talk to me about Kay Flay and what you dig about her.
Yeah. She's always been an inspiration, like a really feminine icon, I think, for me to see somebody in the rock world do such a great job at being, again, it's all about authenticity, really. The thing that I love about all these artists is that they're just being their truest selves. I've had the pleasure and opportunity to work with her as well. And she's an incredible songwriter, and I've written some great stuff that I hope to share next year with you guys that we've written together. But just really a great chick.
Yeah. You were talking about being from New Jersey. This next artist is a New Jersey native and is part of a New Jersey crew. It's 070 Shake.
I didn't know she was from New Jersey.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Yeah.
I just from, was.
Don't quote me, but I believe like Paterson, New Jersey. I think 070 is actually the start of the zip code, which is a popular zip code in New Jersey.
It's so cool. My A&R turned me onto her this year. And that album, Modus Fendi, or however you pronounce it, unbelievable. Wow, just makes you want to move. It's so good. Yeah. I
love Guilty Conscience.
Guilty Conscience is one of my favorites, yeah.
Yeah, fantastic song. What about Frank Ocean? Is he sort of become almost in the similar way like Nirvana was to a particular generation? I feel like to maybe this generation, you know, Frank is a very formative artist that opened a lot of people's eyes to what music could be, what it could sound like, where you could take it. What did Frank mean to you?
So much. I mean, Channel Orange is my favorite album of all time. I remember when it came out, I remember downloading it on like LimeWire or something, like not even doing it legally. And I think same way kind of that Dominic Fike does, he changed the landscape for what music has to be. And by doing his own thing, I think as an artist, it's really great to see. It leaves my options open to kind of do whatever I want. I don't know. Channel Orange is a work of art, and his story is really cool too. I don't know if you know anything about like his signing or anything, but he has like a really cool story.
Well, for those that don't know, you want to tell it?
I heard, now don't quote me on this, but I heard that he was signed to a label and like wasn't putting out any music, and he like the label was like shelved him, and then he dropped Channel Orange under a new name, and the label came back trying to sign that artist like as a new name, and then he walked in and was like, you guys already own this, you already own these records, I'm already your artist. And he dropped another album for them to like get out of his option. And then the day after, he dropped Blonde and was like, I'm done. That wasn't really my album. I could be totally wrong. This is just a story that a producer told me. I'm like spreading these rumors. I have no idea. But I thought that was cool.
That is a cool story. Tyler, the Creator. What do you like about Tyler?
I love how he does interviews. I'm like, I want to be that cool. He'll be like, so what do you like about this artist? And he'll be like, I eat waffles in the morning. That's a great answer. Like, I wish I could just be that nonchalant. Yeah, I mean, his music is so cool too, but he's just so expressive, and I dig that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
How about Post? Posted in May. I don't know if you caught any of the BBMAs this week, but like such a cool performance. He was like at an
I haven't seen it.
something like that. It was insane. It had this cool drone shot, but obviously another artist that just constantly redefines his sound and kind of lives in a bunch of different worlds. What do you like about him?
All these genre-bending artists are super inspirational because they take so much from all different types of music, and he makes it popular. Like, he makes me like pop music because he puts all of these influences into one thing and gives it to us, and it's just so cool.
Yeah, it's rad. Do you have a favorite Post song or like anything that jumps out? Because there's so many different flavors of Post to go,
Circles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just from a songwriting perspective, how great is that song?
It's so good. You can't not be happy when you put it on.
Yeah. Amazing. How about Good Charlotte? Taking it back a little bit now, just in terms of like childhood influences, but probably a band, and it seems like just by your reaction.
I've been listening to so much Good Charlotte lately. I don't know what's come over me. I was like, they're my favorite band as a kid, so I listened to them growing up when I was like 12. And all of a sudden, one day, I just put them on in the car, and I'm like, this is my music. These are my people, Lifestyles of the Rich and the Famous, the anthem. Wow, I could just go on forever.
Yeah. Well, they really sort of have I think a really important position in the history of music and how it's gotten to the point it is now, right? With Post and these genre blending artists, like they really, Blink-182 is pop punk, but I would say more punk than pop. I think Good Charlotte really was like that perfect middle ground. And also made pretty diverse music. If you think about like, I Don't Want to Be in Love versus like some of their stuff, like, on the first record, they're just a group. But if you could play like one Good Charlotte song right now, what would you like to play?
Waldorf Worldwide, for sure.
Right on. That was not what I was expecting, but that's rad.
That's my favorite of theirs.
What can you tell us about Gwen Stefani and just what Gwen's meant to you?
Gwen, definitely musically, but I think more just as like fashionably and as a female and who like as a front woman, I think inspirationally she's been huge, and her name gets thrown around a lot too when we're talking about my project in meetings and with A&Rs, and she comes up a lot in comparison, I think. So I've been taking a lot of inspiration from her, and she was just, she is such an icon. And it's been cool to pull inspo from her looks. Wow. In the 90s. Yeah. So fun. And on stage, like her energy, she's right up my alley.
And she's also a great example of, and probably maybe doesn't get the just due she deserves for reinvention. Like I think no doubt Gwen versus solo Gwen versus, now she's a network television star on The Voice.
Yeah.
Dabbles in country now because of Blake. She's done it all.
Yeah. It's a nice evolution to kind of see throughout her career.
Definitely. Favorite Gwen song or maybe a No Doubt song you'd like to play?
Probably Don't Speak.
Nice. Right on. Well, Royal, thank you so much for hopping on the show. This is very exciting. Fem, our mutual friend, did ask me to ask you about the banger you guys wrote. What can you tell us about the song you wrote last night?
First of all, it was such a fun session. I love Fem, and we had a blast, and we wrote a girl anthem about liking girls, and we're on it together. And it was really cool because we were talking about how, there's the Girl in Reds and there's the Claros, and there's this kind of indie scene of women loving women and writing songs about it. But there hasn't been anything really in the pop or the rock sphere since I Kissed a Girl, Katy Perry. Right. So it was really cool to get something so current and right now and pop and rock talking about liking girls. It was fun.
That's awesome. And then who else was in this session? I want to respect everybody in it.
We had Dwilly, one of my very favorite producers, and a dear friend, Yoshi Flower.
Yes.
And it was such a vibe. What a great crew.
That's awesome. Yeah. I feel like all that's in such a great space right now in terms of just this community that's emerging, including Yoshi Flower.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Awesome.
The alternative scene right now I'm very grateful to be a part of it.
Of course, Overwhelmed is just like, taking over the world. But I did want to ask really quick about Get a Grip, which is a song you just dropped. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, Get a Grip is an EP that comes out tonight. And we have 2 more songs in addition to Overwhelmed on it. We have Choke and Warn You. And the whole project is really about me battling with my own mind, my own inner voice. And I wrote it when I was kind of in a darker place. So it's nice to get it out and release it and kind of move on. But I hope people dig it. We'll see. And
before we let you go, I want to ask about the Youngblood tour. What's going on with this? Congratulations, first of all. But then,
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, so it's a virtual tour. You can buy tickets online, youngbloodofficial.com. And it will be in November. There's a different date per city. I think there's 16 show dates. It'll air at that time zone in that city, but you can get tickets to any show that you want. Awesome. And it's all virtual, but I am still immensely grateful and freaking stoked to be getting that opportunity. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I can't wait to see what's next. And Overwhelmed is such a fantastic song. It speaks to the quality of the music when you play it every day on your show and you don't get sick of it. And I certainly don't. So
wow, thank you so much. It was cool to see, to hear it last night in the car, and your name was on the screen. You're like, you came up, Kevan Kenney. She was like, you got to know Kevan Kenney. I was like, I think I actually saw his name on an email. I think I'm going to talk to him.
I'm on your car radio and your emails now. That's awesome.
Yeah, I love it.
Well, Royal, and it's awesome you're from New Jersey, so thanks for stopping by the show. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, make sure to like and subscribe and hit that bell for all notifications from radio.com. While you're at it, why don't you check out some of our other great videos.